Hey guys, it's Wayne Santos, one of the editors over at Comics Gaming Magazine, and today we're going to talk about something that's on everybody's mind. That's right, we're going to be talking about Call of Duty. Now, most of the time you would be expecting that, it's like, this is it, the big first-person shooter, it's going to win a ton of Game of the Year awards, but I am old and jaded and cynical, so we're actually going to be talking about a little bit something different today. First, I would like to draw attention to the fact that this game is put out by Activision. Now, I'd like to invoke some historical precedent at this point with two titles. One, Tony Hawk, and two, Guitar Hero. Now, what do these titles all have in common with Call of Duty? The fact of the matter is that, like Call of Duty, they were released on an annual basis. Unlike Call of Duty, they have both been discontinued, but that is because of the fact that we have a phenomenon that I like to refer to as franchise fatigue. Basically, this just means that every time a game comes out every single year, people eventually start getting bored of it. And as these yearly releases start coming out, people just flock to it less and less. It's like simply because they're just too familiar with the franchise and they really don't want to play the same old thing over and over again. Now, this hasn't happened to Call of Duty yet, but I honestly don't see why Call of Duty should be immune to this, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this year we are probably going to see the beginning of the decline for Call of Duty as a series. That's not to say that it's not going to make like $1 million bazillion, because I believe that it's already raked in well over $1 billion, but I don't honestly know if it's actually going to make as much money as Black Ops 2 did the year before. I know that some people will make an argument for sports games because they're like, well, Wayne, it's like if you look at stuff like, FIFA or, it's like NFL or NBA, it's like those games come out every single year and people buy them. But the difference with those games is you don't expect the rules in a sports game to change. I mean, if they suddenly went with FIFA and said, okay, everybody can like pick the ball up with their hands and start hurling it around, people would get extremely angry with that because that's not the way that you play soccer. It's like, on the other hand, when you throw somebody into what amounts to a big linear corridor and you have them shooting the same things over and over again in this power fulfillment fantasy, I mean, it's like there are plenty of other alternatives to just Call of Duty for that. Whereas if you want to play a FIFA game or an NBA game, EA has the lock on that. So you really don't have much of a choice if you want to play those official licensed games. Call of Duty doesn't really have that. Call of Duty has the fact that tens of millions of people like to buy it every single year. But tens of millions of people like to buy Tony Hawk, tens of millions of people like to buy the Guitar Hero franchise, and eventually the momentum just ran out on that. I think we are on the verge of seeing that happen with Call of Duty. I just don't see how they can keep this momentum up. When you look at this particular game itself, I've played it, I finished it, I reviewed it. I really get the sense that bottoms of barrels are being scraped now. I'm not going to be giving anything away with what I say next, because all you have to do is go to the store yourself, just take up the box and look on the back yourself. If you look towards what I'm pointing at over here, you will see that over here on this side of the box, you've got space. Yes, I am serious. You go into orbit, you shoot guns in space. Over here on the other end, we've got scuba diving, which is just like, Thunderball from James Bond, or, like more specifically even like the Roger Moore era of, movies where they love to have underwater sequences. And then you've got the dog. So Call of Duty itself is relying on dogs, space, and scuba, in addition to all of the usual twists and turns which they've been recycling year after year and really aren't all that surprising anymore. So I can see how at this point the audiences might be saying, it's like, yeah, okay, that was cool, it didn't suck, but you know what, this is starting to feel a bit samey now. I mean, it's like, it's happened with other franchises. It's even happening with the big Activision Blizzard juggernaut World of Warcraft. Those guys used to have like 12 million subscribers. I'm fairly certain at this point that they're below 7. Actually, they're below 10. It's like, I'm pretty sure that they're actually sitting at about like 7 million subscribers right now. So all of this is just to say that nothing stays at the top of the mountain forever. And I think that with this year, we're finally seeing Call of Duty on the mountaintop, just starting to slide a little bit on that avalanche, down to where it starts losing some popularity and maybe something else takes over. I don't know. Maybe Activision is going to get lucky and it might actually be Destiny that does it. It's like, or maybe Activision's worst nightmare will come true and it's actually going to be Titanfall. Regardless, Call of Duty has been around for a while now, and honestly, my own personal feeling about this, it really would not make me cry tears to see this game get knocked off the top of the heap. I'm Wayne Santos. This is Sound Off. See you later.